What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I want to address a comment here, and again, I'm not calling this person out. In fact, I appreciate them leaving such a thoughtful comment, and this is something that is not uncommon in terms of the general sentiment around Splinterlands. But obviously, I'm going to disagree with this, and I'm going to explain why. And, the title of this video will probably be something like why you are thinking about Splinterlands in the wrong way. So, first of all, shout out to Luinicissa. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you again for leaving the thoughtful comment here. Let's go ahead and read this, and then I'll give my thoughts. So, saying that the hype around CA, Conclave Arcana, in my opinion, is coming from a few hardcore fans and team members. Fundamentally, nothing has changed in terms of A, gameplay, and B, earnings compared to spending. How do you justify a $10,000 investment into a new max set when earnings for the lifespan of the set are around $2,000 to $3,000. My guess is that this flaw, if you call it a flaw, is currently hindering, California. You know what? Hindering California pre-sale numbers and further down the road, sales numbers of California. I said it many times before, with those high prices for packs, fewer and fewer players will buy in, and only a shrinking core of hardcore fans will stay and keep the boat afloat. Very sad to see, but the team would not listen. Many in the community were very vocal about this. Now let's see the consumer's answer unfold. Okay, so first of all, we have not completed the pre-sale yet. Secondly, we are currently half of what Rebellion did, and we've lost a lot of players since Rebellion happened. So I understand where you're coming from, and I think that you're analyzing this in the right way, but my conclusion is going to be vastly different from yours. So the first thing you say here is, right, how do you justify a $10,000 investment into a new max set? Okay, so I know that, and I'm one of the channels that kind of perpetuates this. So but I try to be very conscious of the fact that I don't look at Splinterlands as a quote-unquote investment anymore. This is not an investment channel. It's a gaming channel. We have fun, and what I like about Splinterlands is the fact that you can make money and earn money from it. But, I'm going to give a shout-out to Walking Keys because I think he said it best, right? This is more like a hobby, and it should be viewed as a hobby. Maybe an expensive one, but a hobby nonetheless. Because hobbies, you don't necessarily go into it with, the idea of okay, I'm gonna turn this into an investment, and I'm going to make a ton of money. I mean, maybe it can, right, if you get really good at something like woodworking or whatever, but on the whole, it's not some kind of passive investment that it's just you throw money at it and all of a sudden it's good and you start, earning for the rest of your life. This is more of a hobby. People enjoy it. And the big thing, the main thing that I'm going to call out here, and the reason that I disagree with you on this, is because if you look at Rebellion, I think Rebellion changed the mindset of a lot of players. And yes, there are definitely fewer players there are today than there were back 18 months ago and back even before that. But the conviction of these hardcore players is there for a very understandable reason. Look at the value of Rebellion cards now. They are either at par or maybe even slightly above, depending on what you have. So get away from the investment mindset just for a moment and humor me on this, right? Anybody who shares this opinion, get away from the investment mindset and look at it as something either as a collector, as a hobbyist, as whatever it is. You're buying something that you can play with, that you can participate in a fun ecosystem and community with. You can play a game. It's thrilling. It's exciting. The meta changes. There's different ways to interact. There's now land. There's survival mode, right? Sure, the gameplay itself hasn't changed too much. They've added tactics. There's going to be this new racial bloodlines or whatever it is. So all of that stuff is going to be, maybe it's not enough for you in terms of an evolution of a game. That's fine, right? I've always said that this game is never going to draw people in because of the game. It's going to draw people in because of everything that's built around the game, the ecosystem here that's built around the game. So getting back to my main point, if you talk to any or all of the Rebellion players, my guess is that a majority of the opinion that you would get from them is, yeah, I spent $10,000 on cards 10 months ago, right, or 18 months ago. It's still about $10,000. Maybe some have gone up, maybe some have gone down, but I got value out of it by playing the game and A, enjoying myself, right, and participating, whatever it is, and B, earning something. Now, again, people get so focused on, the earnings, and you're saying here earnings for the lifespan of the set around $2,000 to $3,000. Okay, well, this is where I'm trying to get you away from this mindset of it as an investment. I would bet that there are things in your life that you spend money on because you get intrinsic value out of them, and they don't pay you anything, right? They don't give you 20 to 30% back of your investment or your money, right? What you spent on them, but you don't mind because that's not what you bought them for. So in many ways, there are a lot of collectors out there. There are a lot of people who enjoy TCGs that are going to look at this and say, if I buy a card today, maybe brand new, and maybe I'm paying a little bit of a premium for it, but it can at least hold its value, and I can play and participate and be part of this growing ecosystem of games and games and what's it called, like land and all this other stuff, right? There's intrinsic value for a lot of people that has nothing to do with earnings when it comes to that. And so the idea then is to not really try to market to players like you. It's to market to other players like that who see the value in spending $10,000 on something that has a strong chance of holding its value now because the team has fixed a lot of the issues with how they produce sets, with how they release sets, and more importantly, within the broader ecosystem, right? So many of these faucets that made things just drag all the way down to the bottom when they were exploited by bots and, mass accounts, a lot of that stuff is gone now. And I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not saying that the road ahead won't be bumpy, but the team is very laser focused on cutting the cord whenever something is starting to get out of hand in a way that they weren't before, for whatever reason, right? I'm not even going to get into that, but now I think they do have it dialed in, whether it's because they're listening to the community more, whether it's because they're paying attention to it more, whether they just saw the damage that was done if they either didn't put the resources or they didn't have the resources to go and try to tackle this stuff. But now, ever since Matt has taken over, I do feel like he's done a better job of narrowing in on that and not letting things get out of control. I mean, just remember how many people thought survival mode was going to be just this absolute, disaster because of whatever. It's ended up being something that people really enjoy. And it hasn't caused crazy SPS inflation. So, sure, some people might say, well, it didn't really help the price, but I mean, it didn't really bring down the price either. And then we saw the price kind of take off with the Conclave Arcana launch. So maybe all this stuff is difficult to tell now. But at the same time, just SPS, DEC, all this is in a much better place within the ecosystem in general. So I'm kind of getting off of my topic here. My main point to you is if you're going to look at this as an investment, then you should absolutely stay away. Like 100%. I'm not a shill for the game, right? I talk about the game because I like it. And yes, for full disclosure, I have worked with the game in the past on the creative side and done some music for them. So I have like an emotional investment into the team, into like wanting to see this team and this project succeed. But I can understand for people that just want to come in and are just like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to spend $10,000 and only get, $2,000 back. Because then you're not looking at what that $10,000 buys you. You're looking at it as an investment. And I would highly recommend, if you're looking at stuff as an investment, stay away from crypto gaming. Probably even stay away from crypto unless your risk tolerance is incredibly high. There are other fantastic investments. Part of the reason that I have not played in the crypto ecosystem, and probably for the better, right, in this kind of bull run. My Bitcoin maxiness finally came back out again, which is nice. But also, there are so many better investment opportunities. I don't view Splinterlands as an investment. I don't even view the other game, which I don't even talk about here as much anymore, Parallel, as an investment, right? I bought some cards. I played with them from time to time. I kind of stopped, but it's just a game, right? So yes, this is an expensive game, and I'm going to give a shout out to Dave McCoy here because he understood from my conversation with him, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but he understood that like there is like the game has primarily catered mainly to premium level players that want to spend at the highest levels. But that is shifting now, and you are seeing that very much with a lot of the free-to-play stuff that's coming about. The game is still fun. You may not like it. You may think it's simple, but it's fun. It's addictive. It's short. It has these fun, addictive feedback loops. And people like myself, it's crazy to think that I still like playing this game 4 years later, almost on a daily basis. I mean, I don't play every day, and there's definitely times that I kind of just let the bot do its thing. But on the whole, I still find it fun and addictive. And there is something here. There, excuse me, there is an intrinsic value here that you get from just playing and being part of the ecosystem. And the best part of that now is if you don't want to buy the cards, if you don't want to go heavy on this set, you don't have to. You just play the free-to-play version, man, right? Or even better, play with the cards that you already have. And I know you're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to have to pay for the Wild Pass now because Chaos Legion has moved. Yeah, it's $2 a season, $4 a month, right? If you're not earning that much through the investments that you have in the game, right? And I am using that word consciously, right? Because I'm just trying to match your thing here. Through the investments you have in the game, whether it's buying SPS and getting more SPS or vouchers from it, or maybe renting out your SPS, or whatever the case is, right? Renting out your cards. If you can't find a way, or even in general, if you can't find a way with the earnings that you get and everything, or even just putting a little bit of your own money in, to cover $4 a month, that's like $50 a year to continue playing this game. And I know $50 a year or $48 a year is not a small amount for some people. And you would say, why would I pay to play this game? You would only pay if you really enjoyed it. Plus, a lot of that would be offset by the earnings that you have. And if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to participate, I understand. I truly do. And I would highly recommend that you never look at this game as an investment. And only as a game. And if you can't even look at it as a game, then just don't even participate, right? And I say this with the utmost sincerity. I'm not trying to drive people away. I'm just trying to change your mindset, because if you don't change your mindset now, then this is always going to be a losing proposition for you. This game exists within the crypto ecosystem, and I'll tell you what, if there is another pump, another boom, it will be followed by another bust. And my question to you and to everybody out there that's been sticking around and has been really bitter about it, myself included at certain times, right? If you're this way now, are you going to have the balls to sell out when it actually happens? Or are you going to get greedy? Because my guess is that when a bull market happens, people get greedy. And I'm not going to sit here and judge you, but yeah, I will. I think you're going to get greedy. I think everybody gets greedy in a bull run because that's just what happens, myself included. So, I'm putting this out there with the hopes that it'll change your mindset in terms of how you approach Splinterlands. Nobody needs you to go in and buy a $10,000 investment, and we definitely don't need you complaining about that on here, right? Like, it's just and again, I'm not trying to discourage your comment. I'm trying to like figure out what it is that you're trying to accomplish with this, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, like if you don't want to spend $10,000 to get $2,000 to $3,000 back, that's cool, but you're also kind of missing the point entirely. So that's all I have. Again, Lunicissa, I really appreciate the comment. I wasn't trying to direct this at you in particular, but more so just like this mentality of something that I had to go through maybe a couple of years ago at Splinterlands, where I'm just like, oh, this is not an investment. This is a game, right? And sure, I invested a lot in the game, and I'm down, and I have to find ways to interact with the game and earn money, and this is why I take my ice cream money very regularly. And I don't talk about like the investment stuff that I do, whether it's the flipping, whether it's the trading, whether it's, whatever it is, because like my focus here now is not on, how am I going to maximize my ROI? Because I think that's really difficult to do, and I'm just not that interested in it, right? I mean, I'm interested in it from a conceptual standpoint, because I'm just like, economics is what I love to like live and breathe. And so seeing that in a game, right, in kind of like a small, somewhat enclosed ecosystem is fascinating for me, and that's my fascination with Splinterlands. But like I said, I'm kind of getting off the topic here. So that's all I have for you in this video. Again, I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the comments from everybody that comes in with this kind of sentiment, because I understand where it's coming from. And I went through that evolution or that journey a couple of years ago before realizing that I either needed to change my relationship with Splinterlands or I needed to leave. Right? Like, that's just what it came down to. And there's no shame in leaving, right? Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. And if you don't want to spend $10,000 on a new set, don't. But the best part is you don't have to. Right? So, and not everybody has to, but the people who get it, the people who want to support, the people who believe, right? Maybe, irrationally so, let them do it, man. I mean, so far, Chaos Legion, during my time here, Chaos Legion has not, did not, we know why it didn't work. And when the team went in and literally on the next set decided to change things up, we saw everything get fixed to a certain extent with Rebellion in terms of preserving card value. I think that goes a long way towards creating a lot of confidence. And maybe that's not for the players here who have been burned, but definitely for the hardcore fans that you mentioned, as well as potential future people who enter the game with that mindset, not the one that you and I came in with several years ago. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game.